Chapter 383, Duel with Saint Gentry. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. Below the stairway, the gifted students were stupefied. Some were surprised by Huang Yanjin's power, while others showed pity on Zhu Yingru. Any man would have compassion for a beauty like Zhu Yingru, who was directly thrown down from the stairway. The blue-haired woman just used some martial techniques from the Divine Dragon techniques. Is she a descendant of the Jins or the East Region Saint Mansions? An arrogant voice came out from the crowd. That person snorted and said, "Don't you know her? Her mother is the youngest half-saint in the Jins. Her name is Huang Yanjin." The speaker was Xi King, the first prodigy of the Saint Xi family. He wore a white embroidered robe and his hands were clasped behind his back, which was straight like a long spear. He walked from the distance with an awe-inspiring strength. The onlooking students were frightened and drew back to make way for him. Only a few people remained calm in front of him. Chen Xie said with a smile, "That man is Xi King. In the Saint Xi family, he's favored by a half-saint forefather. He also has outstanding talents. It's said that his martial cultivation has reached the peak of the dawn state of the heaven realm. The most important thing is that he met my cousin in the Jins and was startled by her beauty. After that, he visited my cousin many times and sent her many rare treasures. But, regrettably, all of those treasures were thrown out by my cousin. But, he continued to send things to my cousin's mansion. Moreover, what he gave her each time was more precious than the previous one. Even though he knew that my cousin was engaged, he didn't give up. Moreover, he intended to take her away from you." Zhang Yuochen looked calm. Shang Kiki snorted and said, "Unexpectedly, he attempted to snatch someone else's fiancée. Doesn't he have a clear estimation of himself?" Chen Xie laughed, saying, "As a descendant of Saint Gentry, he could easily carry off someone's wife, not to mention a fiancé. Senior brother Chang, Xi King can kill you with half a movement." Chang Kiki was not convinced and activated the circulation of genuine qi within his body. On the surface of his skin, hard golden scales were generated. After refining dragon's blood, Chang Kiki's body mutated. As long as he mobilized the genuine qi, dragon scales would generate to cover his entire body. And then, he would become invulnerable and powerful enough that he could move mountains and drain seas. Chen Xie showed a little disdain, saying, "The power of dragon's blood will be maximized only by practicing the divine dragon techniques. Have you ever seen my cousin utilize dragon's power? You're too far behind her. Even if you possess the dragon scales for protection, how many movements can you withstand? You've also practiced the divine dragon techniques, right? Let's have a fight." Chang Kiki was enraged by Chen Xie. He sank his legs so that his ligaments and meridians became tense and his power gathered in both hands. "Are you sure?" Chen Xie rolled her eyes and was even more disdainful. When she held her 10 scallion white fingers tightly together, wisps of golden genuine qi emitted from inside. Each wisp of genuine qi was like a flying dragon. Zhang Yuochen felt somewhat unpleasant and said coldly, "Today, we've come here to participate in the Saint Academy's examination, rather than watch your competition. If you dare to, please go to the stairway to heaven to compete with students from the other schools of the martial market." After being rebuked by Zhang Yuochen, the haughty Chen Xie immediately contained her genuine qi and dared not to challenge Zhang Yuochen. In the distance, Xi King was highly praising Huang Yanjin in a loud and clear voice. Junior sister Huang's divine dragon removing mountains was displayed perfectly. She really deserves to be imparted by the golden dragon. Golden dragon? Which one? Upon hearing Xi King's words, many people were confused. The golden dragon used to accompany Buddhist emperor. Junior sister Huang obtained its dragon's blood, so she got its inheritance. After refining the golden dragon's blood, her physical quality absolutely reached the top level, even though it can't be compared with the saintly being. I've also heard of the golden dragon. It's said that the dragon Saryara also emerged with it. In the entire Kunlun's field, the golden dragon tribe is the most powerful. A drop of dragon's blood is enough to last a lifetime, let alone a dragon Saryara. Zhu Yingru, who had fallen from above, was just standing up. When she heard Xi King praising Huang Yanjin, she was even more jealous of her. Originally, Zhu Yingru fell in love at first sight with Xi King. She wanted to become a daughter-in-law to Saint Gentry by throwing herself at him. Xi King, however, did not like her at all. The king had been staring at Huang Yanjun, God's favored daughter, on the stairway to heaven. Who on earth is she? Did I offend her? Why has she been against me? Zhu Yingru squeezed her fists and clenched her teeth. Her eyes were full of fury, envy, and some killing intent, as if she would tear Huang Yanjun up. Although Huang Yanjun ignored him, the king was not angry. He laughed and stretched out his two arms like a great hawk spreading its wings. And then, he rushed to the stairway to heaven. The king reached the 26th level of the stairway after taking just a single step. The king directly reached the 30th level after the second step. After he signed his name on the jade tablet, he immediately rushed up and chased after Huang Yanjun. Later, 36 gifted students cultivated by Saint Gentry also rushed to the stairway to heaven to escort the king. He's really shameless. Zhang Yuochen, let me teach him a lesson for you, Chang Kiki said indifferently. Before Zhang Yuochen could stop him, Chang Kiki had rushed to the stairway to heaven in a storm of anger. Previously, Chen Xie had told him, the king can kill you with half a movement. But Chang Kiki was not convinced. He was outraged and wanted to vent his anger. Chang Kiki quickly caught up with a gifted student of Saint Gentry. He grabbed his vest, blocked his sacred meridian, and raised him over his head. You people of Saint Gentry are shameless. Chang Kiki swore and powerfully threw the student with his arms. Bang! The student fell from a height of 10 meters, and as he landed down on the ground, it slightly shook. Besides the gifted students of Saint Gentry, those below the stairway to heaven were also stupefied. It was unbelievable that someone had dared to abuse the people of Saint Gentry so shamelessly. He really had some nerve. Saint Gentry had a great influence and many masters, so even the descendants of other Saint Gentrys could not easily swear like this. Was his background stronger than that of Saint Gentry? Someone noticed that Chang Kiki was completely covered up by dragon scales. They speculated that he must have refined a lot of dragon's blood. But it was unlikely that he had refined the dragon's blood of a golden dragon, because no ordinary people could refine a large amount of dragon's blood. How could a common warrior afford such a large amount of dragon's blood? All the people were speculating about Chang Kiki's identity. Since he dared to challenge Saint Gentry, he had to be a hero. Who is this man? Doesn't he fear the retaliation of Saint Gentry? Since he cursed all the people of Saint Gentry, he's absolutely not an average person. Perhaps he belongs to another Saint Gentry that is ready to do battle with Saint Gentry on the stairway to heaven. At that moment, Zhu Yingru scoffed. Him? You're really overestimating him. He is just a common warrior from Omen Ridge, a deserted place. He obtained dragon's blood probably because of his good luck. What? A warrior from Omen Ridge? I know that place. It's at the edge of the eastern region and is very barren. It didn't even have any human civilization until recently, so it's very poor. For decades, it was very difficult for anyone from there to get admitted to the Cent Academy. It's true that unruly people come from the Badlands, and he dares to curse Saint Gentry like that. Wait and see. He'll surely be beaten miserably. When all the people were discussing him, Chang Kiki flung away another two gifted students of Saint Gentry and they tumbled down the stairway to heaven. As the power of the dragon's blood was activated, his power greatly increased. He looked like a ferocious human-shaped brute dragon, howling with a roar like a dragon. Standing on the 39th level, the king looked down with indifference. Then he ordered, you can't let him sign his name on the jade tablet. Break his legs and throw him down the stairway to heaven. If it was not forbidden to slay in the Saint Academy, the king had probably ordered to kill Chang Kiki. Was he not courting death that he dared to curse the people of Saint Gentry? After receiving the king's order, those gifted students of Saint Gentry exasperatedly rushed toward Chang Kiki one after another. Finally, Chang Kiki had met his match. Attacked by a gifted student of Saint Gentry, whose cultivation was at the mid-stage of the heaven realm, Chang Kiki constantly drew back and was even punched twice. Luckily, he was not injured because of his amazing defensive power. Damn! Xing Kong snorted and the genuine chi inside his entire body burst out. His arms rattled like the crashing together of metal. His skeleton expanded and pieces of dragon scales were generated. A moment later, Xing Kong's arms were 7 times thicker. They turned into 2 3-meter-long golden dragon claws with 10 sharp toes, like 10 golden blades. He directly rushed up the stairway to heaven and ran toward Chankiki in an instant. As he swung at Law, the gifted student of Saint Gentry who was fighting with Chankiki was beaten back. Sinkong was initially already stronger than Chankiki. As the power of Dragon's Blood was activated, his power naturally increased. Sinkong continuously struck 3 times. The 4th strike hit the gifted student's chest and left a bloody trace of a dragon's claw. He was knocked into the sky and tumbled down the stairway. How amazing! As a top 10 young master of Saint Gentry, Xuzi was defeated after just a few movements. Who is that guy? Look! His arms turned into dragon claws. Has he also refined a lot of dragon's blood? When did dragon's blood become so worthless? Isn't that guy a warrior from Omen Ridge? Is Omen Ridge so powerful? It was undeniable that Sinkong's power was really amazing. And even those descendants of half-saint families were fearful. In small places such as Omen Ridge, it was unlikely that a genius with such power could be cultivated.